Hey cuties, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for being here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you don't get to miss it. So today I want to share with you guys how I achieved this draped yoke on a tube blouse. It's very easy to make and very elegant as well. So if you want to know how to do this or how I did this, make sure you watch to the end. Also make sure you give this video a thumbs up. You can share my videos with your friends, and then make sure you leave me a comment on the comment section below. Thank you. So we're going to start off with marking out our tube blouse. Note that you can mark this straight on your fabric, but I'm just doing it on a paper for clarity purpose. So obviously it's an off-shoulder blouse, and as you can see, I've marked out 5.5 inches instead of 6. I left the ½ inch there for turning in the upper hem of the blouse later on. So this adjustment also affected every other measurement line here, such as the bust point line, now 10.5 inches instead of 10, the under bust line, and the waist line. So at the armhole line, it does too. So instead of 8 inches that I wanted to mark it, is now 7.5 because I needed a ½ inch to turn in the upper hem of the tube while sewing in the interface. Marking our dart line, you're going to divide your bust nipple to nipple distance into 2, and you're going to mark it on these lines as I'm going to mark it now. So after doing that, next thing you're going to do is to add 1 inch to whatever your bust distance line divided into 2 is, and mark at the upper part. And here at the under bust line, you're going to mark 1 inch on both sides of your dart line like this. Then you're going to connect it together and then to the bust point with a curved line at the under bust place. So here, the next thing for you to do now is at the upper part of the bust line, you're going to mark 1 inch on both sides of that line. Then the next thing you're going to do is, first of all, connect this inner part, then mark ½ inch above this line. After marking it, then you're going to connect to the other dart leg like this. So this is one of the simple techniques you can apply to avoid pointiness at the bust area right here. So after you must have done that, we'll go ahead and apply our side seam measurement. Now to mark in the bust measurement, you're going to place your tape at the armhole line, and as you can see at this area, you're going to be losing like 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch. So you're going to add it back to the measurement. Then you're going to add extra 1 inch to the measurement for joining the seam after cutting, and you're going to mark it there at the side seam right there. At the under bust area, as you can see, these 2 inches right here, you're going to add it back to your measurement, and then you're going to add extra 1 inch to the measurement for joining the seam after cutting. Then you mark it there at the side seam. You're going to apply the same technique at this waistline measurement, okay? That is your waist measurement divided into 4 plus 1 inch. So here you're going to mark ½ inch down here and connect it to the armhole line. After doing that, you're going to connect your side seam together, and when you're done with that, you're going to decide the neckline you want to put, whether it's V-neck or round neck, or a sweetheart neck also will do, or if you choose to leave it plain like this, you can also do that. So after marking in the neckline, I'm going to add my side seam allowance, and after doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my pattern, starting from the dart line to the neckline, then the side seam. This is what my pattern looks like after cutting it out. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the back part of our pattern. And this is it. As you can see it here, I've marked out the zip allowance right here. You can mark 1 inch or ½ inch, any amount convenient for sewing by you. And at the back line, we're going to start out from the armhole line to the under bust line and then the waistline. So here, after making this indication line, we're going to go over to insert our dart measurement. And I'm going to mark 4 inches on each of these lines. After marking these lines, at the waistline, I'm going to take ½ inch on both sides of the leg, dart, and then I'm going to connect it together. On this line, I'm going to be marking the bust measurement right here, plus 1 inch for joining the seam after cutting. So I'm going to mark right here, okay? So at the under bust measurement, you're going to do the same thing, but you notice at this area you're going to be losing some measurement, so calculate whatever you have there and you're going to add it back to the measurement right here, and then you add extra 1 inch for joining the seam after cutting like this. So you go ahead and mark it at the side seam. Then you're going to apply the same technique at the waist area right here, and bear in mind I'm not adding any ease to any of these measurements because it's a tube blouse. It needs to hug the body. So after connecting the side seam, what I'm going to do right here is to add my seam allowance. So right here is the back piece of our pattern, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out, as you can see here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it on my fabric. If you cut it out of your fabric already, then you are ready to sew. Make sure you cut out your interfaces for all these as well. The lower part of this blouse is achieved by case plating, and for the width of it is calculating your waist measurement by 2 or by 3 depending on the drama you want to achieve. Then the length you can mark at 8 to 9 inches. You can also replace this with a peplum if you wish to. Then you cut interface for this part of the blouse as well. Then we go over to the sewing proper. So right here is the bust part for the front piece of our blouse, and I've cut it to extend to the under bust only, and I've shaped this area to give an appearance of a bra, and I'll show you how it looks when I sew it on my front piece. As you can see here, I've sewn it to the front piece, and as I explained before, I curved it right here because I don't want it extending to the side seam of my blouse, because I need the shape to be maintained only at the bust area and not to the other parts of the front piece. And now you're going to sew this together, and make sure you do same for the interface. So after you must have done that, you slash off these excess areas to ease the turnover later on. Here is the back piece already sewn together at the dart line, and as you can see right here, it's not leveled due to the nature of cutting. So I'm just going to mark ½ inch right here, and I'm going to level it up. This will help you avoid frown lines when you sew on your zipper later on. Then you're going to bring both back piece and front piece together and sew the side seam together. And when you open it up, you're going to have something like this, and you're going to join the upper part with the lower part of your blouse. And make sure you do the same for your interface as well. Next, you're going to sew in your zipper to the main fabric, and I'm just going to use an exposed zipper technique to sew this. So join me. So here is the net I'll be using. This is called a tissue net, and this kind of net is soft and friendly on the skin. So you make sure you choose a soft net that will not create allergic reaction to the skin and is stretchy on one side as well. So right here I've laid down my net, and this is about 2 yards of length. You choose the amount you want to put depending on what you want to achieve. Then from this open area, I'm going to sew it right from here to your desired length. So when you sew this up, I'm going to show you what else to do. Then after sewing this area, we're going to use an interlock machine to neaten this area up. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to turn this inside out, but first of all I'm going to notch this area to indicate the midpoint of my net. So when I eventually turn this net to the right side, you will notice that this area right here will come to the midpoint of the net. This is to ensure that you have a neat finishing after you must have sewn your blouse. So now, as you can see, I've turned this to the right side, and this sewn area is now in the middle, leaving this neat size to the sides. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to further fold this into 2, and I'm just going to show you what to do next. Right here, to explain better, this is still the part where the sewn part is, which is the center front right here, okay, and this area is the side part. So what I'm going to do now is to measure from this area 5 inches up, and I'm just going to curve it up to the midpoint right here. Okay. So the reason for this is that the front piece where you're going to be attaching this is not leveled, so you need to make it curvy as well so that it will sit well at the midpoint. So when you're done curving it, it should be something like this, okay, And this point right here will sit at the center front, while this will sit at the armhole lines. So I'm going to go over to my mannequin and show you how this will look. So as you can see, I've pinned this up already. And as I told you earlier on, this sewn part is for the center front right here, while the other parts are for the side seam. So what you're going to do now is to pleat this area to this side and to pleat the other side to the other angle, and we'll go over to the next level. So here I've finished sewing my on, and next I'm going to sew on my interface. So I'm going to place the interface right side to the main fabric, and then first of all I'm just going to sew the top part first. Okay, note that on this interface I left 6 inches opening at the side seam for turning this over later on. So after sewing this, I'm just going to notch that upper area, and then I'm going to sew at the zipper area. Make sure you avoid hitting your zip tooth while sewing. Then sew the lower part and then the other side of the zip area. Then from this opening I left here, I am going to turn my fabric inside out to the main side. That is the right side of my fabric, and this is how it looks like after sewing. So the next thing you are going to do right here is to close this open part of your blouse, and then we'll go over to the next level. So now, following the pleats you made at the front side of your blouse, you're going to drape it up to the back side. As you can see right here, I've done mine already. And at this back area, as you can see here, you are going to mark around 1/2 inch to 1 inch away from the zipper, and you're going to drape it along this part. So after I draped it on, I held it down with a pin. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to consider now, after holding this down, is to make sure that these areas around the armhole and shoulder area is tight enough, because I put the stretchy part there to make it relax and more comfortable and more skin friendly. And then I'm just going to hold it down with stitches right here. And after you must have done that, you can use beads or pearls to close up the stitch line. I use brooch for mine. So this is what the length looks like. Okay, you can elongate yours or shorten yours if you wish to, and the blouse is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm satisfied with the look of this blouse. I hope you guys too are as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and leave me a comment on the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.